know you guys missed us last week on spring break, but you can breathe a sigh of relief. We're back with a brand new episode of Mighty Mac Week in Review. I'm Dave Molinaro, joined as usual by my partner, Britt Merkel.
Spring sports got underway this past week with men's and women's lacrosse hosting games at Draper Walsh Stadium, while baseball and softball took their spring break trips down to Florida.
But before that, we're going to take a look at the highlights of the CSAC championship game. If you remember, the women's basketball team traveled to Cabrini. Let's take a look. Trailing early on by 7 points, Allison Zimney takes the pass in the middle of the defense and kicks it out to Sarah Smith, who knocks down this big three-pointer, which was 3 of her game-high 18 points. A couple minutes later, it was Lindsay Crass's turn to dial one up from 3. She drills this three-pointer from the Malvern zip code to cap off a 9-0 run to give the Mighty Macs a 13-11 lead in the first half. After the Cavaliers tied it up, Lindsay Crass drives the baseline and kicks it to Brittany Merkel, who knocks down this jumper, getting the little away court bounce, putting the Mighty Macs back in front. With the first half winding down, the Cavaliers retook the lead, but Meg Gallagher wouldn't have any of that. She got the ball at the three-point line, drove the lane, has no regard for human life, knocking down bodies, gets the tough bucket to drop. In the final minute of the first half, Adriana Shaw with a one-handed bounce pass to Allison Zimney, the picture-perfect backdoor cut to give Immaculata the 27-26 lead going into the locker room. Cabrini started off the second half hot with a 9-0 run, but Lindsay Crass drills this three ball to cut the deficit, but that's the closest the Macs would get. They fell for the second year in a row to Cabrini in the championship. This score 68-53. You know, it was a tough loss, but making it 2 years in a row to the championship game, nothing to be ashamed of. Congratulations to you, the whole team, Coach Canarino. Good job on another great season.
Thank you, Dave. And switching gears to spring sports, the women's lacrosse team suffered their first loss of the season against Arcadia, but looked to bounce back with a win at their home opener against Rutgers Camden. Let's take a look. Trailing 1-0 early on, Rosemarie Reitman makes a great cut in front of the net and takes the perfect feed to tie the game and score her first career goal. With 10 minutes to go in the first half, Allison Jakovich has a free possession opportunity and takes advantage, scoring her first of 5 goals on the day to tie the score 3-3. After getting the foul as time was expiring, Kelly Lapp had a free position chance and scored one of her 4 goals on the day to send the game into the locker room tied 4-all. In the second half, the Mighty Macs outscored the Scarlet Raptors 9-4 to take the game 13-8. Christine McIntyre made 13 saves in gold, including this one, to allow the Mighty Macs to score 5 of their first 6 goals on the half. The Macs moved to 2-1 after this past Saturday, defeating Del Valle by a score of 20-4 behind a record-tying 8 goals from Kelly Lapp, who was named CSAC Player of the Week.
The women have 2 more games this week, both at home. Tuesday hosting Albright, and Saturday they're hosting Richard Stockton. Let's switch gears. Same sport, but throw on pads and a helmet. The men's lacrosse team hosted Catholic earlier last week. Let's take a look at the highlights. After scoring his first career goal just a minute earlier, Mike Reardon adds another impressive shot as he scores this one, getting knocked falling to the ground to score 2 goals in the first 2 minutes of the game. Still holding on to the 2-0 lead early in the first quarter, Don Schiffer makes this save, which was one of his 7. It was a nice stop from a shot on the left wing and kept the Macs up in front. Catholic then took control of the game, scoring 10 straight goals at one point. The Macs trailed 19-8 in the fourth quarter when Cole Waldron scored the first goal of his career off the pass from Brendan Doyle. Another freshman, Tyler Black, scored 2 goals on the day, including this one where he gave great individual effort, forcing the turnover in the midfield and working hard to get the shot off to score the second goal of the day for him, but the Macs would fall 19-10. The men's team then suffered a close loss, 8-7. Their comeback attempt was just short on the road at Del Valle, but they're looking to bounce back this week. They host Alvernia on Wednesday at Draper Walsh Stadium before hopping on the bus for their road game Saturday at Misericordia.
And the baseball team went 5-5 down Florida for their spring break trip with sweeps over Susquehanna and Martin Luther. Ryan Ficka led the way at the plate, averaging .440, and for his efforts, he was named CSAC Hitter of the Week. I'm joined here by head coach of the baseball team, Brian Torsani. How are you today?
I'm doing well, Brett. Thanks for having me. I am a big fan of Mighty Mac Week in Review.
Thanks. Well, the baseball team just got back from a spring break trip down in Florida. You guys went 5-5. What did you learn about your team from this trip?
Yeah, it was a good week. I mean, you know, the point of going down there every year is to find out, you know, what you have coming back home and when we get into the conference. So I think we learned that we're a lot deeper than we've been in years past, and that we have a lot of talented players that I think once we put it together, we can have a very successful season. You know, we learned that being inconsistent at times is going to hurt us, and I think that's what led us to, you know, not winning as many games as maybe we had hoped going down there. But this week we definitely got a lot of our questions answered that we needed to going into the CSAC opener.
Right, and from this trip, were there a few guys that stood out to you on the field?
Yeah, absolutely. I think first and foremost, a guy that was with us last year that didn't get a whole lot of opportunity and really came in and did a nice job out of our bullpen was Kenny Anderson. You know, he's a sophomore for us. He's got good size. We made a little mechanical adjustment in him going into this year, and he really threw well in a setup role for us out of the bullpen. So certainly he stood out. You know, our shortstop, Ryan Ficca, who's a junior, just transferred here this year, had a great week, was named Player of the Week for the conference, and you know, he was on base, it seemed like every time he was up, and really did a nice job for us, sort of anchoring our middle infield. And then, you know, we got consistent play from the guys that have been consistent for us in the past. So, you know, guys like Rob Wallace, guys like Dan Whalen, John Ryan, like a lot of guys that have done things well for us in the past continue to do those things well. And our young guys were up and down, which we expected. So. Right,
and you guys will get there. And what kind of improvements are you looking to make so you can progress later in the season?
I think first and foremost, I think we need to improve our offensive approach a little bit. You know, at the beginning of the week, we were putting up really tough at bats and forcing pitchers to really work hard to get us out. And as the week went on, we started to lose that approach a little bit, and it's something we need to get back to in order to be successful. We need to improve our base running a little bit. We made some bad mistakes on the bases, and it's something I think we can certainly improve on. And you know, on the mound, we just got to be a little more consistent from pitcher to pitcher. So some guys threw exceptionally well, some guys didn't throw great, and we got to kind of bridge that gap a little bit because we're going to need everybody once we get into the conference and are playing, you know, 3 games in 2 days and using a bunch of different arms. So I'd be concerned if there wasn't any room for improvement at this point, and so, you know, those are the things we're going to work on in the next few weeks until the snow gets out of here.
All right, sounds good, and best of luck to the baseball team on their upcoming season. Thanks for coming in, Brian.
Thank you.
The baseball team will host Eastern on Wednesday before a weekend series with Gwen at Mercy.
As you can tell by how tan Britt got this week, the softball team also went down to Florida for their spring break trip. We caught up with Megan Kugler and Kathleen Devaney to hear about how it went. Today by 2 sophomores on the Immaculata softball team, Meg Kugler and Kathleen Devaney. Guys, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
So you guys on spring break last week just got back from Florida. Kathleen, can you tell us a little bit about how the trip went?
We took a couple of bad losses, but we progressed as the trip went on, and we got to learn how do we play with each other, and but hitting better, fielding better, and everything.
And it was the first time outside, right? Because the weather and all that here, so not
right.
Too bad of a trip. You progressed every game from what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
And Meg, there's 16 girls on the roster. 8 of them are freshmen, so it's a generally younger team. What are you guys and some of the more senior girls like Brittany Merkel and Christiana Donafry trying to show the younger girls on the team about how you guys work as a team?
Well, we just have to always have positive attitudes, know that everything you do is for the team, and it's not just about your personal stats or anything, and just always be there for your teammates.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Support them.
All right, guys, and the first home game is going to be on Thursday. We'll check because there's still snow on the field, so we're not too sure, but good luck with the start of the season.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
With the weather getting better outside, we hope to see you guys come out and support all the spring teams. That looks like it's going to be all for this week's episode of Mighty Mac Weekend Review. I'm Dave Malinero.
And I'm Britt Merkel.
And go Max.